Today we are strapping ourselves into the RV for a pretty fascinating detour.
Sounds fun. Where are we headed?
Well, our mission is to analyze an excerpt from a fictional narrative. It's called Gates Family Road Trip Redefines Fun, published way back in 2007.
Oh, okay. 2007. Interesting time.
Right, and this isn't a deep dive into, code or market shares.
Yeah.
We're looking at the human need for genuine connection.
Through a unique lens, it sounds like.
Exactly, through the, highly ironic lens of one of the world's biggest tech titans, trying kind of desperately to unplug.
Okay, so to really get this, we need context first. This is fiction, right?
Right.
Published, like you said, 2007, 14 years ago now.
Yeah.
Think about 2007 for a second. The very first iPhone had just come out. Digital anxiety was definitely starting to bubble up.
Right, the early days of that feeling.
And this whole idea of scheduling family time, it was becoming almost like corporate policy, but for your private life.
Mm-hmm.
So the story, it focuses on Bill Gates, but with three fictionalized kids, Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe.
Okay, fictional kids, important distinction.
Very. But while the plot is made up, the source is clear that the story taps into his real family values. And the whole engine driving the plot is this one really strict rule.
Let me guess.
A completely tech-free road trip, all designed, to try and manufacture some quality time.
It's compelling, isn't it? Because it takes this abstract idea, work-life balance, and basically turns it into a roadmap. Literally.
Yeah.
So our mission in this deep dive is really to unpack how this super meticulously planned, highly intentional family vacation just completely failed at its original goal.
Oh, okay.
Only to succeed, spectacularly, by forcing this shift away from that sort of planned transactional quality time towards real spontaneous, old school connection.
Okay, so we're basically tracking that moment where management theory crashes into the messy reality of actual human relationships.
Exactly. Okay, so let's unpack this intentional setup first. The source, it sets the stage right.
Yeah.
Bill organized the 2007 trip specifically to Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. Okay. Classic road trip destination.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he set the tone right away by enforcing that tech-free rule. He was, it seems, pretty desperate to create some meaningful connection with Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe.
So he wasn't just hoping it would happen?
No. It feels like he was attempting to engineer it, like a project.
And that engineering effort, that's where the core irony really hits you, isn't it?
How so?
Well, you've got the ultimate architect of connectivity, right? The guy whose work basically ensures the world is always online, actively orchestrating a complete digital blackout just so he can, talk to his own kids.
When you put it like that. Yeah.
It really suggests that back then, late 2000s, turning off the digital world was seen as maybe the only strategic way to get to genuine emotional presence.
Wow.
He was trying to manage time, but what the story suggests he really needed was shared presence. It's a subtle difference, but a crucial one.
It sounds less like a vacation, honestly, and more like one of those corporate retreats where the goal is mandatory bonding.
Precisely. That's a great way to put it. He was trying to schedule intimacy.
Which rarely works.
But the source implies that true intimacy, it rarely follows a Gantt chart, does it? This narrative is almost a critique, you could say, of the idea that wealth or, meticulous planning can fix fundamental relationship issues.
Okay, so it feels like Bill's very careful, meticulous planning was about to run headfirst into the chaotic reality of the open road, right?
Right, yeah.
Because the story takes a sharp turn here, a very sudden one.
Yeah, this is the pivot point, the critical juncture where the story stops being about, good intentions and really starts being about action and reaction.
Okay, so here's where that carefully crafted plan just completely shatters.
Yeah.
The force details this double fictional mishap, kind of convenient, maybe, but effective for the story.
What happens?
First, the RV breaks down. Miles from anywhere, apparently. And, at the exact same time, the family realizes they've lost their paper map.
Oh, wow. Okay, the double whammy. And the beauty of the storytelling there is how simultaneous it is. The broken RV means they can't drive, can't rely on, external help radically.
Right.
And the lost map, that takes away even the old school backup. They are properly stranded.
And crucially,
because it's 2007 and a deliberately tech-free trip, there's no GPS fallback. No satellite phones stashed away, no texting for rescue, nothing.
Okay, wait a second, though. Isn't that almost too neat?
Yeah.
The story really relies on this double coincidence, the engine failing and the map disappearing, just to make its point. Does the source material kind of wink at the heavy-handed symbolism of losing the map?
That's a fair point. It doesn't explicitly acknowledge the symbolism, no, but the structural function is, well, pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
The narrative has to systematically strip away every single convenience normally associated with someone like Bill Gates. His wealth, the technology, the advanced planning, all gone.
To force them into vulnerability.
Exactly. True vulnerability. The consequence of this dual mishap is immediate. It's powerful. They have to abandon relying on any modern, efficient tools. They're thrust into this sort of survival mode,
Which demands...
which demands immediate, urgent teamwork and old-school navigation. That's the key phrase the source uses.
That shift, going from mandatory, kind of awkward bonding to forced survival.
Yep.
That must have been incredibly jarring.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, imagine Bill Gates, right? The ultimate problem solver, the planner,
Yeah.
suddenly realizing he can't just throw capital or code at this problem. That's real vulnerability.
Totally. And that forced reliance on, old school skills and just plain joint effort, that's the mechanism. That's what actually generates the genuine connection that Trip was supposed to be about.
Oh, so...
Well, they couldn't just consult a screen, could they? They had to actually look at each other, communicate, maybe argue a bit, figure out the solution using only what they had right there, their minds, their hands, the immediate resources.
It shifts the dynamic.
Completely. It moves the relationship away from being hierarchical, father as the provider, the planner,
Right.
to something much more egalitarian, where suddenly everyone's unique skill set, whatever it is, has equal value in just solving the crisis at hand.
And this external crisis, this pressure cooker situation, that's exactly what lets Bill see his fictional kids in a way that scheduling never could have, right?
Precisely.
The source details 3 specific things, and they're wonderfully ironic that Bill learns about Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe because they were forced into this urgent teamwork.
Okay, let's break those down. Where should we start? Jennifer.
Yeah, let's start with Jennifer. The source notes that she suddenly revealed this newly discovered passion for the environment.
Okay.
And it wasn't just abstract, like something from a classroom. The implication is she was actually using her knowledge of the local environment, maybe identifying plants, predicting weather based on clouds, that kind of thing.
Practical knowledge. Stuff that's critical when you're physically exposed and need to assess resources makes sense.
Right. And then there's Rory. And this is maybe the most pointed irony in the whole story.
Go on.
Rory, it turns out, had a knack for mechanics.
Get out! Really?
Yeah. A child of arguably the most famous software engineer on the planet.
The heir to the digital frontier?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Turns out to be good at physical, mechanical troubleshooting. Fixing the RV, presumably.
Wow. The irony there is just, it's profound, isn't it?
Totally.
The kid you might stereotype as being, I don't know, glued to a video game, he's the one solving the immediate physical problem, the broken engine.
His skill set is completely the opposite of his father's domain.
And yet, it's the most vital skill in that specific moment of crisis. The narrative is basically shouting, look beyond the screens, look beyond the schedules, and you find these true, grounded capabilities.
Okay, and finally, Phoebe. She stepped up, apparently, with a love for storytelling.
Storytelling. Interesting.
Think about it. They're stranded, probably cold, definitely bored, without any electronic entertainment.
And Phoebe becomes the essential morale booster, the distraction, keeps spirits up.
Exactly.
Storytelling, I mean, in that context, it's the oldest form of human connection, isn't it? A way to process chaos, maintain hope. She's creating narrative where her father creates, well, operating systems.
That's a great contrast.
What's really fascinating here is how the crisis acts as this catalyst, These aren't just described as hobbies. They're shown as inherent individual strengths.
Strengths that only surface.
That only surfaced when the conventional structure, the comfortable one, mediated by schedules and tech, was completely shattered.
So the broken RV and the lost map, they basically forced Bill to stop being the CEO of the family trip
Yeah.
and start being, I don't know, a discoverer of his children's real identities and their specific, incredibly useful talents.
Well put.
It turns out connection wasn't about the amount of time they planned to spend, but the depth of the shared problem solving they were forced into.
Exactly right. They survive the ordeal, obviously. They figure out how to navigate their way out. And this leads us straight into the emotional climax of the story.
Right. The ordeal wasn't just a plot device to reveal skills.
No, it served a deeper purpose. It built the foundation for an emotional breakthrough.
Okay, so the source describes the emotional core happening, fittingly, around a campfire. After they've sort of resolved the immediate crisis.
Campfire confession time.
Pretty much. Bill having seen his family's capability, their resilience, completely outside the structures he usually builds, he finally shares his deepest feelings.
And what does he share?
He shares this profound regret, deep regret over his work-life balance.
Ah, the classic executive regret.
But it sounds like more than just, regret over missing baseball games. The source implies it's regret over not truly understanding the character and potential of his own kids.
Until they were literally stranded in the wilderness together.
Exactly. The fictional narrative really gives voice to that common real-world anxiety, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for high-achieving parents that fear that success is coming at the cost of true intimacy.
Yeah, absolutely. That recognition, that painful acknowledgement of the time he'd missed or maybe misunderstood,
Mhm.
that's what gives the resolution its emotional weight, I think.
It validates the whole difficult journey they just went through.
Yeah.
Makes it meaningful.
And the beauty of the resolution in this fictional telling is how it translates that regret immediately into, well, proactive family policy.
Right, it doesn't just hang there.
No, the confession leads directly to an action plan. They make a pact, the source says, a pact to prioritize adventure moving forward.
Not just time, but adventure.
Exactly. Not scheduled manufactured time, but genuine shared experience. Often challenging experience, presumably.
And does it stick?
The source says they establish a new Gates family tradition, these annual trips, specifically emphasizing connection and maybe even shared struggle over just, structured relaxation on a beach somewhere.
Okay, so if we synthesize that whole narrative arc,
Mm.
it's actually a pretty powerful statement, isn't it?
I think so.
The journey from that initial strict tech-free rule all the way to this final pact for annual adventures. It's all about turning a profound regret. The missed time, the missed opportunities for real understanding into a formalized family value.
Right. And the mechanism for that transformation, it wasn't the meticulous planning he started with.
No, that failed.
It was the unplanned adventure, combined with that high-stakes adversity. That's what did it.
Precisely. They started by intentionally removing technology, which, the story suggests was a necessary first step, but it only created a vacuum.
Yeah, an empty space.
The real transformation happened because of the unexpected trouble the RV breaking down, losing the map, which forced them to fill that vacuum with a collaborative, old-school effort, working together.
The story really insists, doesn't it, that you can plan for quality time all you want.
Yeah.
But the deepest, most revealing bonds, those are forged only when you're solving an urgent problem together, stripped bare of all your usual digital efficiencies and safety nets.
Wow. This has actually been a fascinating and, yes, surprisingly deep look into a fictional world that seems built on some very real, very modern anxieties about connection and presence.
It really is a powerful narrative parable when you unpack it like this. The main insight, I think, is that this fictional story shows that getting to true connection, discovering those hidden family strengths, it required both things.
Which were?
Deliberate intentionality, that initial tech-free rule was important, but also, crucially, a necessary, spontaneous dose of unexpected adversity. The struggle.
Fun wasn't redefined just by ditching the screens.
Exactly. Fun was redefined by overcoming the shared struggle together. That's the core message.
Okay, so we should probably leave you, the listener, with a final provocative thought to consider based on everything we've just discussed.
Let's hear it.
All right. If a fictionalized story centered around one of the world's biggest champions of technology insists that genuine connection requires deliberately ditching modern tools and relying on old-school collaborative navigation, then how much deliberate effort must you put in to actively creating those tech-free spaces? And maybe, perhaps more importantly, how much should you welcome, or at least not fear, unexpected adversity in your own life? To truly prioritize connection and discover the hidden talents, the hidden depths within your own circle, whether that's family, friends, colleagues.
That really raises the essential question, doesn't it? In a world offering infinite connectivity, are you truly prioritizing presence?
Yeah.
And maybe even more pointedly, when was the last time you intentionally let the map get constructively lost?